What's going on, J. Kim Show listeners? How are you all doing? I hope you've been having a great year and enjoying the show. I can't believe it's already June, end of June. I mean, this year is absolutely flying by for me. I'm not sure about you guys, but I have a love and hate relationship with the summer. I mean, it always allows me to reflect on all the great progress that I've done over the year, over the half year. But it also gives me a kick in the rear because it kind of is a wake up call. So it helps motivate me and it makes me realize that crap, I only have 6 months left to do everything that I've set out to this year. Anyway, I wanted to let you guys know I've been working on a special mini series for you guys for the summer. So one of my most popular and highest downloaded episodes was number 30 last year with my good friend Kylie Ng. Kylie's the managing partner of 500 startups out here in Asia. So Kylie and I were talking the other day, and he mentioned to me that there was a special Alibaba e-founders program where entrepreneurs from around the world are vetted and selected to spend 2 weeks in China with Jack Ma and the Alibaba team and learn the inside strategies from Alibaba. So that's a pretty special program. Now, there were only 37 entrepreneurs that were chosen, and 8 out of the 37 companies that were selected were actually portfolio companies of 500 startups. So that's a pretty good ratio there. You know, almost 25% of the entrepreneurs that were selected were 500 startup portfolio companies. So we thought it'd be good to put together a mini series where I would interview these founders who are all from Southeast Asia. And learn a little bit more about the ecosystem there in Southeast Asia because I haven't actually covered a lot of Southeast Asian companies. And of course, learn some of the lessons that they took away from Jack Ma himself and the Alibaba program. So for the next 2 months, I'll be running a mini series and I really think that you guys are going to enjoy it. Welcome to the J. Kim Show, Hong Kong's first dedicated podcast on investing in Asia. Join us as we survey the land and discover the greatest companies and most profitable investment opportunities in Asia. If this is your first time listening, thank you for stopping by. This podcast is produced every week with the goal of providing actionable insights to you, the listener, with every single episode. And now, on to the show. This week's show guest is Taro Amornched, who's the co-founder and CEO of Take Me Tour. Take Me Tour is an online platform that matches travelers who are looking for an authentic local experience in Thailand with local experts. The traveler can browse, chat, check, and confirm their trip directly from the website. Taro, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So I want to start off with a little bit of background of yourself. Where are you from? What did you do in the past? And what led you to become an entrepreneur?
Sure. So, hello everyone. So this is Taro. So basically, my background was pretty diverse from what I'm doing today. So I got a master's degree in robotics engineer. So basically, I think 10 years ago, I started my career as an engineer, research engineer. So back then I was coding, I was teaching robots how to see, how to understand picture images. Right after I graduated, I actually got a chance to start working in Singapore as a software engineer, of course. Then the same time when I started in Singapore, I just got an idea about tourism since, I'm sure everyone likes to travel. So one of the ideas just came up. So I started Take Me Tour about 5 years ago as the hobby, basically. But then I just keep going on. And then once things getting set up, so I think I have been, my whole career has been in academics. I don't really have any knowledge in business at all. So that's when I decided to submit a job application to Google. And fortunately, I got accepted and I worked in Google Singapore for about 3 years, mainly in advertising and marketing. So, and then after that, we got Take Me Tour, took off, we got funding. So I quit and jumping right on Take Me Tour journey and work on it full time.
Wow, that's a great story. And you are from Thailand originally?
Yes, from Bangkok, Thailand.
From Bangkok, Thailand. Okay. And did you go to school there or abroad?
I got my bachelor in Thailand and I got my master's degree from Europe.
I see. Okay. Yes. So you have a very interesting backstory. And so first of all, I am very happy to have you on the show, and I love Thailand. It's one of my favorite destinations to go visit. You know, I live in Hong Kong, but as you know, there's a lot of Hong Kong people that love to go to visit Thailand. So I think that something like Take Me Tour is particularly interesting for someone like me because I love travel as well. So when you decided to move to Singapore, and you were working at Google, is that right?
Yes.
So the Take Me Tour idea and the concept that just came up. That was just sort of an idea because you love to travel yourself and you wanted to do something within, that benefited or within your home country. Was there any sort of catalyst that made you come up with this concept?
Yeah, because the thing is that back then when I studying my master degree, so I was in a program called Erasmus Mundus back then. So I have to move around several countries. I actually moved to study in 5 different countries for my 2 year courses.
Ah, okay,
So every time I move, people drop me a message like, "Hey Taro, show me around. Hey Taro, what to do in Vienna? Hey Taro, are you in Oslo right now? I'm dropping by next week. Let's meet up." Things like that.
right.
And then that actually just sting me off and support that, hey, why people keep asking me, starting from friends, close friends, from families, and then going to friend of friends or like friend of friend of friends. Then it actually ding me a bit that, hey, actually when people going to the new countries or the new locations, they're actually looking for the people who live there or people who stay there just because they have more local story, they have more knowledge about what's happened over there. I mean, although they could Google them all, but they just prefer to have it from the local or people who live there.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because if I just think about my travel experiences, I don't travel as much now anymore than I used to because I have 3 kids now, and
Yeah.
it takes a lot for me to travel with the family, and then I travel a little bit for work, but definitely not as much as when I was younger. But just for recreationally, when I used to travel, like as tourist or this sort of thing, it would take me a good couple of weeks of research, and it's the same sort of thing that you said, Taro, on like you just ask friends, hey,
Yeah.
have you ever been to, Bangkok? Give me recommendations. And then everyone has a different recommendation, and usually everyone's a tourist, right? Because so they just kind of give you their experience and what they think, but it's always different, and you never know what the quality level is.
Yeah.
Some people have very high standards when it comes to dining and hotels and activities, and other people are okay eating street food. And so I found that there's a massive variance. And then you of course you would research the books, right? Like the guides, the guidebooks, and then they give you a completely different idea. So I think it's a pretty interesting concept. So let's dive right in. Let's talk about Take Me Tour. Give us the basics of what the company is, what it does, and how it helps the tour experience.
Sure. So basically, Take Me Tour is like a marketplace for local tours. So you imagine that you just come to Take Me Tour, you browse and like itinerary tours, experiences that all of them are offered by the local people, people who then live there. And it's like having a friend or people you can trust, like showing you around the cities. And that is the experience that we would like to offer to travelers.
I see. Okay, and you guys are currently only in Thailand?
We started from Thailand. Right now, we in Thailand, and we start expanding to Cambodia or just last month, and then we expanding to Myanmar hopefully by next month.
Okay, so the basic it's a local expert that will take you around. And so what are the sort of walk me through the user experience, if you will. So is it a website that you go in and you browse different packages? How does it work? How do you determine how long you want to the guide for? What's the pricing and that sort of thing?
Sure. For travelers experience, once you enter the website, you just select what cities you are visiting. We right now is the largest marketplace of local tours in Thailand. So we have more than 20,000 local experts from 55 cities. So basically, you start from the city that you are visiting. Either it can be Bangkok, Chiang Mai, or some other city that you are visiting.
Right.
Then there will be a list of experiences categorized by categories or types. And especially these days, we're gonna ask you where you're from, and then because we would like to personalized experiences based on your behavior or your preference.
Right.
So the more you browse through the website, you will keep seeing more related tours that you may like. And once you found the one that you like, you can either check their availabilities calendar, or you can chat with the local expert first, or you can just book them directly.
I see. Okay. And are they all sort of within one day?
Yeah, I forgot to mention that, sir. Everyone is 1 day tours or 1 day experiences, which mean because these days people, we are tackling what we call FIT travelers, free and independent travelers.
Right.
So those are the people who book their own flight because there are a lot of offer online. They book their own accommodations, so they're looking for things to do. And we are all offer it's within 1 day, which means you can buy if you want to go several days, you can book several tours, but every one of them are completed within 1 day.
Ah, I see. I see. Okay, so that's pretty cool. So, and then of course, the different experiences have different time frames. It could be a shorter one, could be just a walk through an area, and then something else longer could be maybe a full day tour or a hike or something like that. Is that right?
Yeah, definitely start from very early morning. Like for our culture, in the morning we do like offering food to the monks, so you can actually attending that like from 6 a.m. Like during the day, you could do like go to the fresh market and come back have a home cooked food with like my mom, for example. At night, you can actually having a pub crawl. You can having a street food tour in Chinatown. So those sort of experiences depend on what type of them to start and end at different time.
Ah, okay, that's very cool. And then how about language support? I mean, obviously your tour guides, experts. I guess English is must be a pretty.
It's a must.
And then there's also a large sort of mainland Chinese population that travels. There's Japanese people that love Southeast Asia. I know Koreans love to travel as well. Do you
Uh-huh.
have language support for the other languages?
Everyone, all the local experts speak Thai and English.
Hmm.
So we have been focusing in English-speaking traveler in the past 2 years. But starting this year, we will actually start focusing more on the third language, which means right now, if you entering the website, you can see local expert who can speak Japanese, Chinese, and French as a starting point. So we keep adding more into the platform to actually handle more, especially Chinese. So they're like almost 1/3 of like travelers visiting Thailand are Chinese travelers.
Yes, of course. That's definitely an area of growth that I think will actually significantly help your your revenue model. Let me just walk through the user experience. So I'm actually on your site right now, and I see a bunch of different experiences. So let's say I'm going to Bangkok this weekend with my wife, and I want to experience one of these. It says right on here, 4 hours, 7 hours, how long the experience lasts. There's a price listed next to it. I see the price has been converted to Hong Kong dollars. Is that price all inclusive of any sort of tips and this sort of thing?
For the tips, especially, so we actually included tips, which mean for us, so it's like you don't really have to put a pressure on you to do I have to pay tips or anything adding on. Not at all.
Right.
However, if it's included, we have a price condition for the other things. For example, we have it for if you go to any of the tours, there will be price conditions which tell you that this price already included transportation included, admission ticket included, if any, or meals are included.
Right.
Depends on each of the tours
I see.
because each of these experiences uh, was listed by the local people themselves. Some of them comfortable having a meal included, so they can walk you through the whole experience without asking you for any cent. Or some of them prefer to have a meal excluded because then they're not sure if you're gonna eat a lot or if you prefer one or another type of food.
Right. Yeah. So that's a good point. I think for me myself, the tipping part is oftentimes the most sort of not awkward, but it's a question mark for a lot of people because you're not sure. Different cultures have different customs on how you're supposed to tip and whether you're not. Some cultures it's rude to leave a tip because so I like having everything included when I go on an experience. So I also see that so you have obviously a social element here where people can rate and review the tours.
Definitely.
Right. So as far as As far as sort of customability, I mean, is there a way that, in addition to these experiences here, if let's say I want to do something bespoke, is it
Mhm.
possible for me to request that at and then you guys come up with a price for, let's say I wanted to do a longer walking tour, or a walking tour plus something else. Is that possible?
Yep, definitely. So usually, if it's just a small customized as an add-on on your existing tour, let's say for example, if I start choosing street food tour in Chinatown, and then I happen to just would like to extend to the nearby market because I have read some review online and this is cool. I would like to visit that too.
Right.
If it is something, usually because that's why we have a chat functions that you can even chat with the local people right before you make a booking, and most of the time they are pretty much okay with that. But if you are looking for the complete customizations, we do have that as well. However, you might not find that easily because we try to kind of like direct you to each of the tour as a starting point.
Sure.
But after you browse the website for a while, and if we detect that you're not really selecting anything, then we will pop up like, do you need customizations? And then this is where you can just type whole bunch of requests that might be very specific. One of our interesting customization in the past is like this was a Singaporean travelers. He's also very interested in some kind of like Buddhism amulet. So he would
Oh.
like to let the local people, ask the local people to show him around like 5 different temples that he has exact list, and just meet the monk there.
Wow.
And yeah, he just put the name there, and then we customized it because we have like 20,000 of them. So pretty much we could cover most of the thing you would like to do. But yeah, but a
Wow.
different story. So yeah.
Yeah, that's I appreciate that flexibility, because sometimes these stock experiences aren't for everyone. Now, can you walk us through the sort of payment side of things? How does it work? How do you guys make money? That sort of thing.
So that is very, very important. So we make the money out of the commissions. So we are running on the commission-based model or the booking fee. Basically, let's say, for example, if the local people offering creating the itinerary, and then
Uh-huh.
they say, I would like to get, let's say, for example, like 1,000 Thai baht
Right.
for this tour. And then we're gonna list it, and we're gonna add around 10 to 20% commission on top of that as a booking fee.
Okay.
And that is actually our main source of the revenues.
I see.
Although these days we actually expand our revenue stream to other stuff like merchandising products,
Right.
which means we have been asking people like, because we've seen people spend a time in Thailand 5 to 7 days, and then they book our tour for about 2 to 3 days, and then we ask them, what did you do in the rest of the time? So they say they go to the museum, they go aquarium, they go to the theme park. So that's why we start cross-selling the tickets and attraction tickets to them, so they can actually, we would like to be an end-to-end in-trip experience for them. So right now we start offering tourist SIM card right from the airport
Ah,
pickup, any other stuff that they need during the trip.
I see. That's clever. And all these, if let's say I'm on the site and I decide to select a 1 day tour with my wife, uh, I have to pay for it right here on the site first and book it, and then
Yeah.
okay.
The key here is that you prepaid them, so you pay the full amount. However, we keep that amount. So this is the key. So we keep that amount safe with us, and we will only release that to the local expert only after the end of the tours, and you confirm us. If
Ah,
you just book one of the tour, at the end of the day, there will be an email asking you like, have you met this person? Have you actually meet it? And everything's are going well. You like it. You leaving the reviews, and then the money will be released.
right. Okay, that makes sense. It's almost like you hold it in escrow until you get confirmation that okay, got it.
So sometimes it rarely happen, but sometimes, for example, like very heavy rain and you don't meet each other. So at the end of the day, so you're actually giving review like, hey, I would like to hold the money because I didn't actually meet that person, and I would like to reschedule. And then we manage that because then we still hold the money, the payment that you made.
Right. Okay. Got it. Okay. That makes sense. So this brings us actually into my next question, obviously, which is quality control. So whether it be finding these local experts, and when they onboard to your platform, how how trustworthy are they? Obviously Thai people are probably the most friendly people I've ever met in the world. So you might not have issues, but for safety and for insurance and this sort of thing, you never know. And so, what measures do you have in place for that? And then let's say also if an experience goes terribly wrong for some reason, what recourse is there?
Sure. So this is definitely very, very good questions, and probably one of the first questions traveler have in mind before they make a booking.
Right.
First of all, I put it into two aspects: quality and security concern. So for the security concern, we do not compromise that at all, which means we have a very strict security measurement. Which means we on par with the global standards. Like we have the ID card check, we have the bank account check, we have the criminal record cleans, and we check all those things to make sure who they are and they are actually a legitimate person that we can at least find them where they are.
Right.
So that is the security part. However, for the quality wise, actually, if you think about that, it's very, very subjective. Some people might like this one, but might not be the case for another person because it's very, very subjective.
Right.
And also, if I'm actually be the website take me to keep telling people like, hey, this tour is good, book it. You not really believe me. But if it's hundreds of people giving a reviews to this tour that this is good, and
Yes.
we categorize them by the countries of origin. So these are review from American travelers, it's review from Hong Kong people, this review from Singaporeans. So you actually go read to review. So for the quality, why the review will be the main key component here to actually ensure the qualities. However, for the new tours or new experiences at least on the website, we work with a network of bloggers, which means we have a bloggers like they love to come to Thailand. So they come to Thailand, they go on a tour for free. In exchange, they take a nice photo, make a nice video, and give a review. So that is actually our quality screening assurance on top of our own team that are curating them.
I see.
However, from your questions that what happen if things go wrong.
Right.
So this is the point when we hold the money with us. So we still keep the money secure. In case of anything go wrong, we can still make a full refund back to travelers. They don't lose anything because this is the point of having Take Me Tour as a middle person or a platform that making sure both sides, like travelers and the local people, they are both happy with us.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, these things, they you always have to be prepared for them. I mean, they do happen. Even large companies like Airbnb, you hear once a year, you hear like a horror story about it. So you just have to have these things in place for sure.
And yeah, I forgot to mention, and all the bookings actually through the platform, we have accident insurance covered.
Okay.
So not only with travelers, but also with our local expert because they are part of we consider them as a partner. So
Right.
even if the local people go on the tour, they're individual. So if they accidentally get hit by the car, so we have the insurance cover them as well.
Sure. They're very smart. Okay. So let's quickly talk about what you have in store for the future. How many cities currently are you servicing? You said you were looking at Cambodia to expand to. Tell us some of your growth plans for the coming year.
Sure. Right now, we could say we are the largest marketplace of local tours in Thailand, covering 55 cities in Thailand already. So our plans in a very short term is we would like to still continue dominate Thai market because I think it's very, very strategic in terms of the inbound tourism in the regions. Thailand alone consists of around 60% of the whole inbound tourism in Southeast Asia. So it makes sense to continue our strength in the market. However, we keep expanding I think what we specialize is to developing countries in Southeast Asia, where all the needs of the local people are. So we start going for Cambodia with very basic reasons that we go after all of our previous customer. I keep sending them email like, hey, apart from Thailand, I know you're hopping around the region. What are the other countries you're visiting? And about 70% of them answer that they're going to Cambodia. And that is very, very obvious choice for us that we are going to Cambodia to start expanding in Cambodia. And this is, so the goal for us by this year, we already been in Cambodia, we're going to expand to Myanmar and Laos by 2018. And we're going to cover we try to cover all of the developing countries in Southeast Asia by 2019.
Wow. Okay, that's exciting. We'll definitely be looking out for that. I want to switch gears a little bit here, Taro, and talk about some of your achievements here. I mean, you've obviously done extremely well as a startup. You've caught the eye of several sort of industry players. You won a couple awards recently. One of which you told me was like the Oscars award of the industry. And also, you were recognized by Forbes 30 Under 30. Can you please tell us about those awards and what they mean to you?
Sure. So let's start with the first one is called a PICTA Award, Asia Pacific ICT Award.
Right.
Honestly, I didn't know that at the beginning, but then when we got recognized, so it's like people in the industry have been in the ICT industry have been calling that as an Oscar or ultimate goal for people who are working in software
Right.
industry. And it actually means a lot to us because in as of Thailand, so it's a APAC level competitions, and for Thailand has been very well known for tourism. However, we didn't win this award for about 5-6 years already, and we actually got that award and then once in the past like 5 to 6 years. So that means a lot to us that we could actually bring travel and hospitality categories winner to Thailand again, and that's why this means a lot to us for the Forbes 30 under 30. So, I mean, this come pretty much unexpected. I mean, I'm not really very rich, successful guy, but when I read that criteria, and that means a lot to me because they say the criteria for honorees making the list include leadership, disruption in the field, and likelihood of changing the field over the next half century. So that means a lot because I'm glad that the committee see that what we try to do at Take Me Tour could possibly change the field tourism industry in at least in the next half century. So I'm really
Absolutely. Congratulations on both of those accolades. I think that Thailand is often known for its tourism and people go there. I know it's a very popular destination, especially for people here in Hong Kong and China and stuff like that. And so for you to win that sort of award in tourism and hospitality, but not with traditionally it's like hotels that win these types of awards, and so I think that speaks volumes for your company and the work you're doing there. Now, you also recently, I know, were part of the Alibaba Founders program. Can you
yep.
give us a little bit, tell us a little bit about that program? How, what was that all about? What did you learn? Give us some details on that.
So this is the program that I recently joined. It's called E-Founder Fellowship Program. It's part of the Alibaba and Amornched collaborations. Basically, I really like it in a way because I can actually take off like around 37 founder, if I'm right. Though all of them are CEO or co-founder in a startup in Southeast Asia who run marketplace to be in one place in Hangzhou at Alibaba headquarters. And in 2 weeks, I think we have learned a lot on how to building up ecosystem or platform for in China. So this really, I would say, eye-opening things because I probably don't really know much about Chinese previously. I mean Chinese market and how things go. But when I be part of the program, I can learn that how Alibaba building the whole ecosystem, starting from e-commerce, payment, tourism, like from scratch, from day one, and their views on building up ecosystem, really building up ecosystem, and that actually when I come back to Thailand, I have got a lot of learning from that because instead that make us very certain because what we try to tell ourselves is that we are not really a tour company. We try to make a platform that match two people as a marketplace, as a platform that match the needs of two sides, the local expert and the traveler together. And we learn how to build them from scratch from Alibaba like history experiences.
Ah, very interesting. So it wasn't as much like sort of how to penetrate the Chinese market. It was more about building community, building ecosystem wherever you might be operating your business, and using that as a basis to grow your business. Is that right?
Yep, definitely. It's more like a bigger picture than just learning how Alibaba works, how Taobao works. So I mean, definitely they're part of the program. However, I think the whole big picture was how to building up the ecosystem of e-commerce, of payment, of tourism, actually have a larger impact.
That's fantastic. Taro, as we look to wrap up here, and again, thanks so much for your time. And, I've learned a lot today about your company, about Thailand, and I'm glad that we were able to connect. I have two final questions for you, and it's really one. As someone that has come up from sort of an engineering background, you've worked in a large corporation, albeit Google, and then it's taking the entrepreneurial leap and you're at a point where you are seeing some success. The proof of concept is there. I'm sure you're getting traction. You're winning these awards. For startup founders that are looking to sort of do the same thing, maybe follow in your footsteps, that might be working at another company and they're doing something like a take me tour on the side at nights. What's one piece of advice that you could give and leave for my audience listening in if they are an aspiring entrepreneur?
If I could give a piece of advice from those entrepreneurs who would like probably would about to make a big decision in their life,
Right.
entering to be entrepreneur or starting their own startup. So I would say, I would say, things is tough. Thing is tough. It's really tough. So, but find the things that you're really passionate in it, because that's probably be the only thing that keep you moving, at least in the early phase. Because thing won't be. I mean, things that you see a lot of people have been doing might sound very, very tempting, very easy from outsider. But once you getting your hands on, there's a lot of things along the way. So just find things that you're really passionate on, and then that will be the thing that keep you like awake in the morning, keep working late at night.
Right. That's great advice. I think that at the beginning, it's always fun and it's exciting. But when that excitement and the fun wears off and you start hitting roadblocks and challenges, you're absolutely right, Taro. You have to be passionate about it. It has to be something that you just want to do, whether you're making money at the time or not. And whether you're successful at the time or you're stumbling or going through roadblocks, if you're not passionate about it, then you're just going to end up giving up. So, great piece of advice. Final question is, Taro, where can people find you, follow you, and connect with you to learn a little bit more about either you yourself personally or Take Me Tour?
So for Take Me To, you can just simply follow our social medias. We are on Facebook, we are on Twitter, we are on Instagram as Take Me Tour. So for myself, I'm not much as a social media guy as I used to in the past few years, just because of probably I'm too busy. But I'm still active on Facebook, so you can just find my name like Taro Amornched on Facebook, so you'll find me easily.
Fantastic. You know what's funny, Taro? For startup founders, I actually, I'm an investor as well, and I actually like it when they're not all over social media all the time, because I actually know that they're just head down and focused and working on the company, which is, working on the investment. So it's not a bad thing to not be too much out there on social media. Thanks so much. It's been such a pleasure, Taro. We are looking forward to tracking your progress, and we wish you the best of luck.
Sure. Thank you. It's my pleasure to be speaking with you as well.
All right. Take care now.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
All right, bye. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. All the show notes and links can be found over at jkimshow.com. Come back often and make sure you subscribe, rate, and review. Don't forget to join us next week for another exciting episode of The J Kim Show. I'd love to hear your comments. You can find me on Twitter at jkimmer, JAYKIMMER. See you guys next week. This podcast is brought to you by Hack Your Fitness, the high achiever's guide to getting ripped in under 3 hours a week. If you're anything like me, you're probably working a full-time job or jobs and trying to find time to balance family life, social life, and last but not least, fitness. Look, I get it. I'm a full-time investor and entrepreneur myself, and father of two. So how am I able to stay fit year-round without spending hours and hours in the gym killing myself on the cardio machine? After struggling for the last 15 years trying every workout and diet under the sun, I finally designed a system that allows me to achieve and maintain single-digit body fat for life in under 3 hours a week. Cardio not required. Head on over to hackyour.fitness and download my free 13-page guide that teaches you the simple science behind efficient fitness and smart nutrition and gives you everything you need to know to finally take control of your life. That's hackyour.fitness.